Good morning. Today I'm doing the SOGI Part 1 video, and this video. And I just wanted to talk a little bit about inclusivity and exclusivity with the, not only SOGI, but the Pride and the LGBT. They are so into inclusivity that they banned the police from marching in the parades with their uniforms on. So how inclusive are they? Like, are they only inclusive when it comes to them? Or are they only, it seems very much like they are gone far left with the whole idea of inclusivity. And also in the school programs, as far as SOGI goes, they want to, include gays, bis, lesbians, and trans people into the schools. And I am okay with that. Acceptance is good. Education is the route to acceptance. And by corrupting the education system, you're not getting acceptance. You're getting a reversal. It's like going from polar opposite, positive to negative. And I see that as a big downfall in this whole program. Basically, I've downloaded the paperwork here. So the goals for SOGI inclusive education is visibility is the diversity of sexual orientation, gender identities, and expressions are recognized and valued. Okay, that's okay. 2 is protection. The dignity of all people across the sexual orientation and gender identity spectra is intended to be preserved as well as protected from harm, and I'm okay with that. 3 is inclusion. Equitable treatment and inclusion are really for people of all sexual orientations, gender identities, and expressions. You see, these 3 are packaged up. It's like taking a lump of crap and packaging it up in a really nice candy wrapper with all nice colors on it, and it's got really cool lettering and a little character on there, and they make everything look really good. But what's inside this package is it kind of follows the whole spectrum, goes from good to not so good to kind of bad, like bad, okay? I see the SOGI program doing is they are creating avenues for kids to think they are transgender, okay? I'm going to kind of add some videos to show exactly what I'm talking about. Actually, watch this video here of this little girl, and then I'll be right back.
There's not only just 2 genders. There are people that they don't really feel like who they really are, and they just want to be somebody else, and you have to respect that.
So as you can see, they have children thinking that transgenders just don't want to be who they are, and they want to be different, okay? They want to dress different or whatever. That's not what transgender is, okay? That is what transvestitism and transsexualism is. There's 3 different types of trans. There's transgender, who transgender their bodies because they are a different sex from who they were born as, okay? Born in the wrong body, i.e. Transsexuals are people who go halfway. They'll, top up, they'll have breasts and, great complexions, and they'll look very female, but they have their original male parts. And then there's transvestites who relate to being women, but don't have any desire to change their body to a female. They just dress and live as females pretty much 24/7. I have no issue with that, but to lump us all together is kind of unfair. That's almost lumping a Mercedes in with other common vehicles. Tend to compartmentalize the wrong things and group in things that should be compartmentalized, and it's kind of it's confusing for a lot of people. Because, like I say, they see a transvestite and they call them a transgender, or vice versa, and I think people need to be more educated on the 3 types of trans. I've tried to bring it up a number of times, and I know my subscribers know the difference from my videos. But basically, so back to SOGI, they are encouraging children to believe they're transgender. That to me is child abuse. It is a form of child abuse, in the fact that, look, children, we don't even let them walk to school alone or make any major decisions They're not allowed to drink, and they're not allowed to do a lot of things that adults do. So why are they allowed to choose their gender? Okay, to the point of getting puberty blockers and stuff like that. I mean, they're still young and they're still very impressionable and haven't discovered themselves. They could be gay, they could be 100 different things. And I'm going to go over that in this video. There's some video from a girl named Nadia. She was a YouTuber. Now, mind you, a lot of her videos contain a lot of misinformation. I sincerely believe she believes that. And it's not disinformation, like purposely done. It's just... she's listening to the wrong people about what transgender is and such, right? And she admits herself she's never really paid attention to transgenders until all of a sudden now, right? But some of her video clips make sense, and so I took a few clips out of one of her videos, and I'm putting them in this video. We will show her opinions, and I'll give my take on her opinions. But basically, the whole program, it introduces the LGBT into schools, and I'm fine with that, right? Kids should know what gay and bi and lesbian and transgender are. That leads into acceptance, okay? That leads into, oh, okay, that's just a transgender person, or that's just a gay person. Then they're not being targeted like I was in school targeted. I would, play hopscotch with the girls, or, skip ropes and stuff, and hula hoops and all those other different stuff that, the girls were doing back then. I did with them. I mean, it was fun, right? When you're in school, you're supposed to have fun when you're a kid, right? But now it's almost like they want these kids who are so grown up by the time they're even 5 and 6 years old. They're making decisions they should not be making. And if they are transgender, then why can't they wait till they're between 16 and 18 to get the HRT drugs? Like, why do we have to start giving puberty blockers to 6 and 8 and 9-year-olds or 11-year-olds? To me, that is a detriment, and that's child abuse. And why aren't we spending the money that we're spending on all that treatments and stuff on better assessing the children who think they're transgender? Okay, this is a serious life move. Okay, and you want to be sure you are transgender before you go ahead and get the surgeries and treatments, right? It's not something you do and then just transition back later in like some fun little experiment. It's not an experiment. This is who we are. We are born in the wrong body, and basically, I'm not saying that children can't be transgender, but I'm just saying, why are we transgendering them physically until they've had a chance to get proper assessments by psychiatrists and or psychologists or counselors or whatever, and then when they're of a certain age, we can start to, look at them getting their HRT and stuff. So that's where I stand on it. Have a look at this. This is Barry Neufeld from Chilliwack, BC, where I have lived, by the way. And he's being attacked by the press. Watch this.
Rage is growing tonight after a Chilliwack school trustee posted a rant online blasting BC's new curriculum dealing with sexual orientation and gender identity.
I think he's absolutely wrong. He's on the wrong side of history on this issue.
He is longtime Chilliwack school trustee Richard Neufeld, who used a Facebook post to come out against the province's new sexual and gender identity program, writing, quote, "Children are being taught that heterosexual marriage is no longer the norm, and if this represents the values of Canadian society, count me out. I belong in a country like Russia."
Barry Neufeld ignited a backlash after posting on social media that he supports traditional family values and that allowing little children to choose to change gender is nothing short of child abuse. He accuses the province of forcing this biologically absurd theory on children in schools.
I don't impose my beliefs on anybody, but this program intends to totally impose its belief on all of public education.
Just tell us, why did you put that on Facebook?
No comment. I know.
Neufeld did not want to answer our questions about his post, which has hundreds of comments, many calling him bigoted and transphobic. School board chair Paul McManus says Neufeld's opinion is not shared by the board.
Being an elected official on the school board, you have to consider the things you say and the opinions you express, because people will mix the two up.
Okay, so in my opinion, okay, although he has a right to his opinion, he is at work at the school. We have to do what our boss pays us to do, right? And if he has a problem with that, then he should step down. But he had made these opinions known on Facebook, and in my eyes, his Facebook account, or his personal name, it's his personal account. He had no right being attacked like that for his opinions on Facebook. We're allowed to have our opinions, okay? I thought that was kind of wrong. Watch this clip.
The 2017 caption of the child says, "Mom, I think I am supposed to be a girl." The mother's response, "Okay, sweetie, we'll start hormone treatment immediately."
And this is basically exactly what's going on at this point in time with how easy it is to get transitioning going. The poster seems a little extreme, but actually I feel it's true of today's the way they're doing things today, and how they're handling the children who think they're transgender. Okay, watch these clips here.
Barry Neufeld is facing a storm of criticism.
I have been called names, I've had my life threatened, I've been called an old dinosaur, a religious fanatic, superstitious, homophobe, you name it. I don't impose my beliefs on anybody, but this program intends to totally impose its belief on all of public education, and I think that's going to create a new target group for bullying.
So tell me, is attacking him any better than him attacking SOGI? Like maybe they should use this situation to kind of get together and look at who is creating the SOGI program. It's not the school system, it's the LGBT and other various organizations. The school system basically has given them full run, and so how's their attacking his family values any different from him attacking the transgender, gay, or LGBT values? It's not. It's like I say, you're going polar opposites from positive right to negative, right to left, right? And I feel that's kind of wrong in the sense that we should, as people, be mature enough to come together and say, okay, let's deal with it this way, right? We'll get together, we'll chat, and we'll sort it out, right? So here is Nadia, and listen to this, and then I'll be back.
I do have moral qualms with children transitioning, as I believe that it is a form of child abuse. And we're now seeing children as young as 6 and 4 years of age transitioning, which is absolutely frightening. Like, don't get me wrong, because I'm all for children expressing themselves. However, I believe that children can express themselves without being put on puberty blockers or without transitioning. Children do not have the intellectual maturity to make such a fallible decision. If we don't trust children to cross the street by themselves, why are we trusting them to make such a life-altering decision like transitioning into the opposite sex? It's crazy, and especially because the very nature of children is change. Children are always changing. They're always going through phases, and a lot of times children go through exploration phases with the opposite sex, and sometimes these phases last years. So I think that there actually needs to be some kind of, system put in place that safeguards these children against being victimized to this propaganda.
Exactly. And this is a good point. Watch these.
And so these studies on twins that were done has shown that 28% of identical twins both identified as trans, while the other 72% of the time they differed. So what this shows is that there are non-biological factors contributing to trans identifying as the opposite sex. And 75% of all gender dysmorphic youth actually show signs of being happy with their biological sex after they hit puberty.
Okay, so she's talking about stats on transgender, I think twins she was talking about, but doesn't show any stats, doesn't show or tell us where to go to look at these stats. She just expects us to believe her, and basically, how do we know these stats even exist, right? So it's important to have proof in videos, and that's kind of why I use videos and or links so people can go there and look for themselves. Here's another one of her.
If a full-grown adult wants to make that transition, that's on them. You know, they have the emotional, intellectual, and sexual maturity to make that decision.
Okay, exactly, and I agree with that. Although a lot of her videos have misinformation in them, her point on this is bang on. So here, watch the other ones.
And studies have been done to show that a lot of times small children may think that they're trans, but they're actually gays. If children aren't able to go to war or to drink alcohol or to get married, they're not able to make a decision like changing into the opposite sex, period. It's child abuse. And I think that a lot of these trans lobbyists don't have the children's best interest at heart. The thing with trans lobbyists is they often use threats to parents about the potential risk of trans suicide as a way of emotionally blackmailing these parents into transitioning their children.
Exactly, I agree. The trans lobbyists and activists use scare tactics on parents to get them to fall in line with the whole transgendering program. And I wonder if the suggestion she made was right, that the pharmaceutical companies could be paying these lobbyists and activists to push transgenderism to make money, right? But basically, they're not considering the children. They're all looking at their own agendas and views, but are they really considering the children? I don't think they are. My final word on this is this. I think we need to take a step back and look better at how we could be dealing with these children who claim they're transgender. Some are. I mean, like I said, Jazz on TV always dressed female, always presented female, and her schoolmates accepted her, even though she still had male parts. And she just had her surgery. I think she was 16 or 17 by the time she got her surgery. But the fact that she did puberty blockers affected the surgery, and she didn't have enough scrotal material to make the vagina with. So I don't know if they ended up using part of her bowel or not, but that's kind of just a side route that they go. Are they going to be doing this with lots of children? And, you know, what kind of problems could that cause in the future, right? We don't know. This is still one big experiment, and I think people need to look better at and care more about the children. I'm not saying that they can't be transgender or say they're transgender if they are, but for a person just to say, well, I'm transgender, and then, okay, we'll get your drugs for you, you know, that's fucked up. That's really messed up. And I don't think that's a positive route to go. I really think we need to invest more money in the psychological aspects of it, of assessing these children before they are given any forms of HRT or puberty blockers or anything like that. I think a certain age should be set. There's a lot of varying opinions. Some of my subscribers feel 18. I would even be okay with 16 before they start getting the HRT drugs. I don't think blocking puberty is a good idea. You really need to go through puberty to have the proper materials, but also it's a psychological thing. When you go through puberty, a lot of things happen to you. And I can verify that. I've been through puberty. Right? But a lot of people just aren't considering. They're just so anxious to get this transgender thing, the agenda going, that they're not considering the children in this and the futures of these children. So, I mean, we really need to look more at that. And I think all these people who are against it and all these people who are for it need to sit down and chat about what's best for the ones who are really involved here, and that's the children, okay? Like I say, I have no problem with them introducing LGBT to the schools in the fact of acceptance. But to go far enough to say that kids, young kids can just say, well, I feel like a girl, so really? Well, let's look further into that. Let's send you to Dr. So-and-so, and you can chat with him and let him see what he thinks, or whatever. They need to be assessed I was put through the ringer. I'm an adult. I'm 56 years old. I was 55 when I went in for my transgender appointments, the assessments and stuff. And I had 4 months to go through just to get my T blockers, okay? And I had a lot of appointments and talked to a lot of people. So really we need to do the same thing with the children, and maybe even longer. I don't understand why they can't wait till they're of age to go ahead and transgender, if that's really what they are. I think it's being done wrong. I have people that disagree with me. My own sister disagrees with me on this issue, and that's her right, you know. And as it's everyone's right to disagree or agree. I just wanted to let you all know that I feel very, very serious about questioning SOGI, simply because it's not really, the school board, the schools themselves have no real input as to, you know, they basically just gave the LGBT and pride organizations the right to go ahead and create these curriculums and stuff. And I think they should be a little more scrutinized by people in the school system who aren't biased, who are nonpartisan. And I think we need to really consider the children and the mindset of the children who are claiming they're transgender. And I just, you know, that's my opinion on the matter. If you want to leave your comments below, I'm more than welcome to chat with you, or you can just leave a comment, that's fine. If you agree or disagree, that's fine. I want to give a shout out to all my subscribers and my viewers and my new subscribers who have joined. And I'll talk to you soon. I hope you have an awesome day. Bye.